it's the 722511.
Alright, so we say, hey, sector, right, restaurant. Alright, some sort of subsector. Full service restaurant. What does that mean to you, full service restaurant? What is that? What is a full service?
Like you can dine in, but they also do carry out and pickup orders and maybe like drive through or something.
Dine in, carry out. And delivery too?
Yeah.
Okay, delivery. And what's that code you say again?
722511.
722511. All right, so we say, hey, you're in the restaurant sector, but maybe there's different types, classifications of restaurants in the subsector. You're saying here, hey, we're full service because there's all sorts of things. One, there may not be options, certain restaurants may not allow you to carry out. They don't have that, maybe they don't deliver, maybe they're just fine dining, you dine in. 72251, all right. And over here, what are you thinking, code-wise?
I haven't found it.
You haven't found it? Okay, well, what is your business?
I think we did like the Johnny's.
You're doing Johnny's, okay. Right, so I mean, Johnny's would be, I guess you'd be able to find it close to where they're finding it, right? It's a restaurant. It was probably gonna be a very close number with the exception of the last couple. But you could go on this website. Were you able to find this website? North American Industry. Okay. All right, how would you describe Johnny's then? Is Johnny's full service?
It's only like takeout.
All right, Johnny's is only takeout. Do you know if Johnny's deliver?
No, I don't.
I don't believe it is. Okay, all right, segmentation. Who are your type of customers? Who are the main customers that's targeted for, what's the restaurant again?
It's called Sergio's Pizzeria.
Yeah, okay, was it one of your friends or something like that? Okay. Sergio's Pizzeria, just from the outlook, who are the customers?
Which right by a couple of high schools, like walking distance, so.
Okay, so you're saying, high schoolers, right? Who else?
Anybody who's hungry or wants pizza?
So what is the reason why Sergio's is there? Is it because Sergio wants to be by high schoolers? Sergio's want to be by different demographic of people?
It's a pizzeria and a Mexican restaurant.
Okay, so you say, hey, you know what, maybe it's a cultural thing. Right, so you say, hey, we're serving ethnic food, we're serving Mexican food, right? Mexican food, everybody likes Mexican food, but still, like I said, it's a cultural thing. Any other thing you can think of, psychographic, like just the behavior. You think like, hey, high schoolers get out of class, they're gonna walk past, and this is just repeated behavior, they're gonna stop at Sergio's, or do you think there's something else going on? Why do people come to Sergio's psychologically? Like, is it cheap pizza or something? Is it quick? You just get slices in and out?
I went to a high school right by there, and we had off-campus ones, so it was like one of the only options that was like walking distance.
Okay, so you say, Herrick, lack of alternatives, right? There's not too many pizza joints, maybe within walking distance. Is Sergio's there for people who drive around that find Sergio's, or is Sergio's primarily for people who walk around in the neighborhood, high schoolers and people who live there?
probably the most, 'cause I talked to him and he said like business does pick up like when school starts.
Okay. Because remember we said, hey, 20/80 rule. We can't satisfy everybody, that's impossible, it's not what we're trying to do, right? So we throw that out the window. We say, hey, there's a specific type of people, 20%, right, who give us 80% of our income. So for Sergio's, you're like, well, it might be the high schoolers. You're like, the high schoolers are the 20% that give us 80% of the business, right? What is it about those high schoolers that we can do to gain even more of the high schoolers? Do we change the price? Do we change the menu? Do they have different needs, different wants now? Do we have limited options for pizza, right? Can we make the slices bigger and charge a premium? All right, so you think of like, hey, we gotta get creative in order to say exactly who's our target audience, because we're not serving everybody. Right? Either it's like Sergio's is there because of that location, because it's located by a couple high schools, or Sergio's is there also because the people in the neighborhood just love Sergio's, regardless of high schoolers or not. Sergio's there because they're you said they serve Mexican food too, because the Mexican food is good. Is it the pizza? Right? So you're like, well, I don't know, Sergio. I don't know. What drives more of the business? Is it the Mexican food? Is it the pizza? What do people actually want from Sergio? Are you confusing them, Sergio? Should you only focus on one thing? Stop selling pizza. Now you got Italian and Mexican in the same restaurant. May sound good in theory, but if we look at the demand, look like one thing is better than the next, which means we're being wasteful. Right, so here we're thinking in advertising, Sergio, give me a budget. I'll create a phenomenal advertising plan, right? We have to be efficient. Sergio says, hey, I only got $1,000 budget. How much traffic can you drive in here based on $1,000? You probably could have some effective outcomes if you, as we go and learn more. They say like, hey, Sergio, I was able to get you an additional 200 customers a month or something, right, $1,000. Maybe that translates into $6,000 extra for him, right? So this is what we're talking about, trying to find exactly, right? We're trying to reduce waste, be effective by being efficient in identifying exactly who really wants what we offer, right? And we're gonna focus on them. Right, we're gonna focus on them. We're gonna drive more of those people. We want those people. Yes, we could get new customers too, and that could be a secondary thing. The primary thing is to focus on who really has a need for Sergio's Pizza Mexican. All right, over here, if you could think of some of these characteristics. Who are the people that go to Johnny's? I go to Johnny's. But you're like, well, Dr. Ross, why do you go to Johnny's? I'm like, yeah, I go to Johnny's when I'm around the university. I don't live over here. I'm not coming to Johnny's. Gold Coast, whatever. You're like, hey, for people who work over here, there's 2 universities, right? That means people are gonna be there quite a bit for quite some time during the day. So who else shops at Johnny's? Who are the people? Who's the target sort of Johnny's customer?
I guess the area where it's at, like, there's like a lot of restaurants around there, but.
All right, so I mean, think about it. All right, Johnny's is on North Avenue. Was that the greatest idea? It's a saturated market. There's a lot of restaurants. How do we know who to stop and pick?
And I see it's a big street, so like, people, like, it catches people's attention, because it's like right in the corner, but like, there's not another, I guess it's like a parking lot, where like, it stands out because there's not another restaurant right next to it.
Okay, hey, Johnny is doing good because they are on the main street and they're on the corner and there's a parking lot, right? Win, win, win. Visibility is good because you're on the corner, you're on the main street, everybody's looking for some kind of restaurant. So some people may pick Johnny's. There's a parking lot for convenience of, hey, park your car real quick, go and order food, get back in and leave, right? Johnny's like, maybe we don't want to do drive maybe they can't, I don't know, maybe like this house set up right there. Maybe there's some sort of permit we need, who knows? Alright, so you're saying location is a big factor, anything else? Is it the price of Johnny's offerings?
I guess like, have you mentioned like just the menu, like the smaller the menu, so.
Yeah, okay, we say, hey, simple, I go to Johnny's because I don't have to think. I'm going there for the same stuff every single time, right? It's simple, I know what to do best. Johnny didn't confuse me by having 40 things on the menu. Johnny does one thing good, well, a couple things good. Fried sausage, Italian beef, and does some good fries, right? Which is good. We say, hey, bad business, bad marketing, bad advertising, if Johnny's got like 20 other things on the menu, right? So now you've really, word of mouth, it's like, oh yeah, they offer hamburgers too. Like, well, which one they do better? Is it am I going for the burgers or am I going for the beef, right? In the perception, in the minds of the consumer, they have to know exactly what it is that place do best. Because we all know when we talk to people, you're like, man, you want the best asada, right? Or if you want the best al pastor tacos, you go here in Pilsen or Little Village or something, right? If you want the best pizza, maybe like, well, which one? Sliced, pan, or deep? I don't know. I think maybe pan pizza might be like Pequod's. Like you only get a Pequod's pizza, pan pizza. Don't go there ordering the wings. Don't go there ordering anything else on the menu, right? This is what we tell people. So it shows that, hey, for even like examples of pizza, the pizza places that do it well, yeah, they got like 20 other things on the menu. Who cares? Most of the business, 80% of the business income is from that pizza. So you have to ask the question, why do you still have 20 things on it? Are you harboring this food that you throw out that nobody really orders? You're being wasteful, right? And waste, you're losing money. You're losing money, right? You have to throw the stuff out. You might order the chicken wings or whatever, cheese sticks or something like that. Perishable goods, you gotta go. Secondly, like, hey, you know, if you're a pizza spot and everybody loves that pizza, they come from out of town to get it. How do we get more people to come, right? So you want to drive that. We want to focus on those. Yes, we can innovate and add, but we need to focus. Okay. Okay, so let's just briefly touch on what we talked about last class. Keep up. All right, we say user status, right? Active, passive. Hey, are you out buying? Are you actively looking? You're a person who actually buy what we want. We care about you. All right, if you're passive, how do we get more of your attention? If you don't buy, how do we get you to buy? Right, usage rate, we want to focus on that. Who are the people that buy most? Purchase occasion, we're like, hey, you know, that's part of our promotion. Maybe it's a special time of the year we can use to promote something to grow. And then focus on the benefits, right? Even if it's pizza or tacos or whatever, what are the benefits of that? I know we said last we could break things up by all sorts of ways. Region, county size, zip code, stores. We could find information based on these things, right? We could find out all sorts of information to use in our advertising. As well as demographic, right? We say, hey, we can look at heavy usage patterns of particular age groups. So we're focusing on age, we can see the behavior, what type of things they need often, what are the things they most buy, right? Then we said psychographic, right? Value systems, values, attitudes, personality, and lifestyle. This will all be covered in your ad plans, right? Who are the personality of people who shop at Johnny's? Their lifestyle, their attitudes. And then as we get into business to business, right? We say, hey, that's business to customer that we talked about. So there's B2C, or there's also B2B, right? A little bit more complex. You're buying more stuff in bulk, right? So you have less sort of transactions, but they cost a lot more, right? You have to hold a lot of inventory. So we have to think of that as a little bit different. So if you pick the business, you can still pick a business that sells to businesses, right? If you choose to switch it up, right? That could be an option. Don't think of just like retail places that sell to customers. What are some businesses that sell to businesses? Like they don't sell directly to customers, right? Direct customers sell to, yes.
Could it be like Costco, that are business centers?
Sure, the business part, right? So you say Costco, it has both, a consumer, right, for individuals, and then they have a part for businesses, right? Who sells to Costco? Where's Costco get their stuff? Manufacturers, right? So we say, hey, Costco has a big thing of Tide, who makes Tide? Costco is buying directly from Procter and Gamble, send us a giant bowl of Tide, we will sell it back to individuals and businesses. We are resellers, right? Basically. But Costco is a wholesaler, it's selling in bulk. So we say that Costco is a wholesaler, but it's also a reseller in some ways, right? It's just reselling stuff that it bought from whomever, Mars, Candy, all the different manufacturers of TVs that they offer, stuff like that. Okay, and we went over the North American Industry classification system. This is important because it's used by governments for statistical analysis to kind of see how every industry is doing, how every sector is doing. Also, any changes, business changes, say we no longer offer it, we're in a whole different sector or industry. We need to know how businesses are shifting, so we need this type of information. All right, and then we see here, we can break things up into multiple types of sectors. Hey, we say paging industry, this would be wireless telecommunications, except satellites, so that's a whole differentiation. Telecommunications, right? Broadcasting, maybe you're focusing on like radio and TV, and just maybe information, right? All you do is provide, there's businesses that just provide information. Okay, and then we say concentration. For your campaigns, hey, how concentrated is it for Sergio's? Hey, how's the market over there for Mexican food? Who are Sergio's main competitors? Is there a chain over there located that people be like, I go to the chain restaurant instead of little Sergio's on the corner, right? And that chain is getting most of that business that Sergio's can have, right? So concentrated on one specific area such as region or country. Business marketers deal with fewer buyers and consumer marketers, as we know, right? Consumer marketers are individual people and families and household businesses are few and far between. And then aggregating market segments. Management needs to understand primary demand trends. What are the trends that are happening for your restaurant industries, right? Is it a select group interested in product utility, right? Or combine groups to build target markets segments, which means that we can look at various groups and think of how we can approach those in some sort of cohesive way in order to build the business, right? And then target market selection, right? Now we have to select the market, group of segments the company wants to appeal to, design products for, and tailor marketing activities towards. So for Sergio's, right, we kind of vaguely say, all right, we identified the target market, how do we go about advertising to them so that we get more of them? How do we get more students? How can we approach the students to get more? So if we've identified, what can we do to tailor our marketing, our advertising to get more of them? What could be done? Yeah.
Maybe you can offer discounts if they show their ID.
All right, show your ID, 10% discount, right? You're like, man, I might get a lot of people, right? Because really you're just thinking like, hey, you're not gonna pay tax. Tax is like 11%, but, which is good, right? You're saving a few dollars there. Anything else? Right, where are the students located? In high school. So we work with the high school to advertise in or around the high school. Maybe people don't know, maybe they go home a different way. They don't come by Sergio, right? They don't even notice it. They're going west, they're going north, they're going east, they're not coming to see where Sergio's, right? So it's like, hey, we're missing out because there's still a lot of students that don't know we exist. So how can we know that we exist? Are there benches in the area? Right? What about the bus benches? Right? Speaking with the public school system, hey, can we advertise in there? We'll pay, obviously. Is there some other businesses we can kind of work with to promote or cross promotion? So like, hey, I'll help you promote your business if you show some Sergio stuff over yours around the corner, insurance companies, all type of stuff, right? Putting up in your windows. Street lights, street posts, all things where we see that traffic of high schoolers go. Anything else? You say that's just local, that's just approximate area. Anything else technologically that we could do?
Maybe like a TikTok account
Yeah,
and make like a little ad there. Or a little, start like an Instagram channel, Instagram account, and like post there like the food of the week or meal of the
you
week.
could go on Facebook and see, or Instagram or even TikTok, and find information on everybody that's currently in that high school that attends it, right? And target those ads directly to them, right? You use the algorithms to find people who've posted taglines about specific high schools, right? Okay, these are people or friends of people in there, right? So some creative ways. Google Ads, we could use that too. All sorts of, internet-based marketing. Marketing mix, a strategy for matching products to marketing. We talk about the 4 Ps, right? And so if you say, hey, Sergio's his location, but you're like, well, okay, fine, that's just one area of what they do. Well, what about the price? Right, well, Sergio, I don't know, from our research, we kind of know that students in the area wish that you had a more affordable pizza or more affordable Mexican food. So you need to switch the price up. Creative marketing, he's like, well, Sergio's like, well, I don't want to switch the price up. And you say, Sergio, just give them smaller portions. Make the tacos, just give them a little bit less quantity, right? Buy the smaller tacos, the miniature one, right? Keep the price the same. And then, you say, hey, test this for a month, see if they respond. Let's see how the demand shifts. Let's see if people still keep coming in, even though you didn't change the price, but you give them smaller tacos, right? Less bit of rice, less bit of this. We get creative with those type of things. So we have to think of our 4 Ps. Our 4 Ps are, what are they?
Instagram pricing.
Yeah. Price, what else? Promotion,
Product.
product. And what else?
Placement.
Place, okay? Hey, what do you sell? What's the product? What's the design of the product? What's the offering? What's the price? How much you offer? How much does it cost to get this thing? Where is it located, right? And what's the promotion? What's the catch? What's the value added offering? Right, and so you have to think traditionally, what in the minds of consumers is the concept, the product concept of Sergio's? What do you think? If you conceptualize Johnny's or Sergio's, in the mind of the consumer, what will they have to say about those places? It's almost like, what would you say about Nike? What would you say about Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Polo, Concordia? What would you have to say? So for the restaurants, what do you think? What would you have to say? consumer, what would you have to say? Now, how have you two eaten at Sergio's? Okay, so I recommend that you go there, right? But go there anonymously. Go there anonymously. Don't go in there and say, hey, no, let's do this. Do that after you eat the food, right? So go in as a consumer, because say, hey, Sergio's not about you. It's about the customer, right? We don't care what you offer. Am I happy? Is the food good? Is the cost relatively modest? Is the interior nice? I want to sit in. Can you switch that up? If I say something good, I'm like, yo, the food is good. You want to sit in? I'm like, nah, not really. It might be a little dirty or something, or not a good view. It's a little dim in here, right? It don't smell that great. These are things that we say about places that we go to shop, and especially go to eat. You're like, yo, just going for the food, get a takeout. You don't want to sit in there. It's not that type of restaurant. It's not that type of restaurant. Same goes for Johnny, right? And then the complaint would be for Johnny's is that, yo, I wish Johnny's had like a decent place to sit and eat. But if it's cold outside, what, everybody's eating in their car? Because there's only limited space to eat inside, you gotta stand up. So you're like, no, Johnny, could you switch that up? Have a more satisfied customer. Because you might have lost some customers, people are like, you can't really sit in, so let's go somewhere else. Right? So we have to think of like, hey, you're missing opportunity. You are constantly missing money. You're missing a ton of money. And that's why the businesses fail. So when you see the places on the corner, and they be there for 2-3 years, and they go out of business, and they're like, hey, what happened to the restaurant? Very simple. They didn't do none of this. They just kept the doors open, didn't switch anything. Okay, Levi, rebuilding the product concept. When we say, hey, concept is symbolism. It's in the mind, it's in our mind. We know what we kind of think about a product. It may be hard to describe sometimes, but we know how we feel about it, right? So Levi's understand a brand represents a bundle of values. How's the product concept depicted in this ad? In this ad and aggregation of all the utilitarian and symbolic values embodied by a brand. All right, so what is Levi is saying here, right? I don't need to say it. Can you read that? Okay. All right, bring us your skinny, tomboyish, your curvy girls, and all girls in between. We believe that hotness comes in all shapes and sizes, right? That we should be able to go into stores and find jeans that fit us instead of having to fit into the jeans. And that every Tina, Tanya, Teresa, and Talia deserves jeans that make her curves look like a, I can't read that. It's the new democracy of jeans. Finally, jeans for us. Go forth, Levi's. What is the messaging here?
Levi's, I guess they serve every type of body, so they don't just focus on like skinny or curvy, but they focus on everybody.
Yeah, Levi's is like focusing on fit, right? We used to always say, hey, buy a pair of Levi's because they last forever. They're good quality, right? But maybe you might have said like, oh, there's some trendier jeans that fit better, right? That kind of look better, but maybe less quality. Those Levi's like, yo, we want that. No, we want those people. We don't want people saying that it doesn't fit that great. We know they love Levi's because it's quality. It's gonna last forever. But we're saying here, hey, not only that, now we have jeans for every kind of body type fit. So the focus here is fit for every kind of body type. Because they know that people already associate Levi's with quality, and they're gonna pay for the quality. Now they're gonna pay even more for fit and quality, right? All right, product life cycles. Just like life, and just like businesses, things are born and they die, right? So 4 stages here, just like life itself for human beings. Four major stages. Introduction stage, intended to stimulate primary demand through push and pull strategies. What are push and pull strategies, you think? I would say push is like very direct advertisement, right? Thrown that in your face. Pull is kind of indirect, right? Indirect would be like, hey, maybe Google Ads is indirect, right? You search for a particular word, and then these companies came up, or you were maybe looking for something else, but you happen to see the company, right? So it's kind of indirect marketing. It's a pull theory. And you're like, well, maybe that's a cheaper way of advertising. Push, you might think that's very expensive. Like push is like put a giant billboard up. Like that costs a lot of money, right? Put a bunch of them up. Pull would be like, hey, use indirect sort of things. Maybe you could think of like social media marketing as pull, meaning that depending on what you've typed in recently or things you looked at, you might start seeing similar items. And then you'd be like, oh yeah, what about this? I'll click on that. Okay, and then we have growth stage, characterized by rapid market expansion. So first you have the great concept. You have the great product concept, service concept, or business strategy, concept. You come out with it, you show it to the world, and now people start buying it. And now you hit growth. So now you got rapid market expansion. So if you notice, when, say like a small restaurant, right, say for like Chipotle, right? So Chipotle came out and they didn't have too many locations. You had to really go out to find Chipotle, right? And that was the introduction. Like, oh, you know what, man, this place Chipotle, the food's kind of good. Like, the chicken's good, they get the burritos, go there for the bowl, and boom, everybody starts buying Chipotle. And what happens? McDonald's buys Chipotle. So McDonald's says, here's billions and billions of dollars to do what? To expand, right? You gotta get out in front of everybody while it's hot, right? This is the time, that's growth. So this is the time for us to expand. You go to the bank, you go to private equity companies and be like, hey, these 2 locations we got are really working. I need $1 billion because this will work everywhere. And they're like, I believe you, right? We gotta get you out everywhere. All right, and then you say maturity stage. Okay, and you've been around for 10, 15, 20 years. Maturity stage includes market saturation, sales reach plateau. Emphasis is on selective demand. So you could think of McDonald's, been around forever, right? Saturate the market everywhere, Dunkin' Donuts, Taco Bell, Subway, McDonald's. Sales reach plateau, maybe for some of them, right? Taco Bell, I know, has some issues way back and had to reinvent themselves. It reaches sales plateau. And then the emphasis is on selective demand. So like key items on the menu is what we focus on to drive the business, right? And then you say, guess what? Kmart, right? Guess what? Sears. Decline. Obsolete. New technology or changing consumer taste. What happened to Kmart? What happened to Sears?
They didn't keep up with the new, with like the new technology, I guess. They wanted to stay with like the paper catalogs instead of like going online.
Yeah. You say, hey, Sears is just obsolete. It's kind of too old, right? And like, well, that's good for maybe older people who's still doing it the old ways. But most of the money is for people my age and way your age, right? And the way that we shop is just completely different now. You say we shop online, so if you don't have the offerings online, you already missed out on that money, right? Maybe the industry had changed. The Amazons, the Walmarts, right? The Targets eliminated Kmart and Sears, right? They were doing something great. Now I know that a lot of people prefer Target over Walmart. Who prefers Target? Target. over Walmart? Why?
Well, for me, I feel like it depends, cause there are some things where, Walmart has better prices than Target, but I think, I don't know, I get different vibes from Target than Walmart.
And that's what we're talking about, right? And I'm saying like, hey, the concept of the consumer is exactly how you think about Target versus Walmart, right? Like, it's different vibes. Now, if you could kind of think more and be like, well, what's the different vibes? You're like, yo, man, it's brighter in here, it feels cooler, people feel more vivacious. I don't know, maybe people feel that Walmart's more ghetto, more whatever. You're like, that could be a real thing from consumers, right? And that's why you go there. That's why they're successful. So even with these businesses, try to get to that thing. Like if you go to Sergio's and get the pizza, vibes. What's the vibe? No, let's not sit in the spot and dirty. Okay, the pizza's good, the tacos, blah, 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 right? Think of that. What about, YouTube? You were gonna say something about Target. You gonna say Target over Walmart? Why do you like them? Or prefer them?
I mean, it's just more like put together, like nicer and Walmart.
You like, man, it's more organized, right? The layout's a little bit better. You might find a human being to actually help you, right? They may not have an attitude, right? So you're like, hey, I want Walmart, customer service stinks, the people act like they don't wanna work there, they could care less, right? You're like, that's gonna hurt your bottom line. Anything else? Anything? Walmart versus Target, you prefer Walmart or Target?
Target. It's just that at Walmart, they're just standing around and talking to each other, and then Target, like, you're actually, like, seeing them work, I guess, but they're not standing.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Like Target, some when people are actually working, right? You see people put like Walmart, people are hanging out on their phone, right? It's just, you know, Walmart feels like a swap meet or swap-a-rama, but like a flea market, right? In some ways, just like randomness of all sorts of things. Feels very public, right? You know, like you go anywhere public, like a bus station or something, like a train station, kind of feels like that. Like, a little dingy, dirty. Everybody goes here because it's cheap, right? All right, so you say you die. So, hey, same goes with businesses. Businesses introduce themselves, they grow, significant growth, they get old, and they die, which means that no business lasts forever, right? Maybe a few can last a very long time. Coca-Cola, Charles Schwab, Wells Fargo, right? Things have been over 100 some years. All right, so here we're just giving a sort of a graph, y-axis of sales, x-axis of time, because we're looking at introduction, growth, maturity, decline, right? And we say, hey, product life cycle, maybe the iPhone dies, and maybe Apple's aware of this. Maybe Apple is looking at this chart, and where would you say the iPhone is on this chart?
Maturity?
The beginning of maturity, or towards the middle, or towards the end? What do you think? How much longer does the iPhone have? Coming up to versions 15 or 16, I think 16.
I think towards the middle, just cause like, the only thing that has been changing in the iPhones is kind of like their colors, and everything else stays the same, and like the updates. So I feel like there's not much more that they can add to a phone
Yeah.
to make them make like consumers wanna buy.
Think about that. How much more can you add to a phone? Before you say, hey, a new product category comes out, right? Maybe it's the glasses, and everybody will do glasses. Maybe it's some projection device where you project out you're just in the middle of the air, just like picking stuff. Maybe that's the next wave, right? But we have seen like, oh, iPhone was, 4 or 5 different phones, different camera capabilities, different prices, $100 in between each, $200-300. You literally been doing the same thing for like the last 10, 12 years, right? Like how much longer can you keep this going? Before competitors, so like, dude, AI technology, we got it, it's something to do, we can project the image out, you don't even need a phone anymore, right? Now they try different things, think about it, like when you have a watch, you're like, oh, the watch is a miniature phone, okay, price, product category change. The Apple glasses, who thinks that'll take off?
Well, I know they came out with the Ray-Ban glasses, like that are kind of like, they're like smart glasses, so you can like record and take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I've had those before, I think I got them for free from a business. So is that it? Is it glasses? What's the next big thing after the phones are done? Right, think about that, like, even Apple doesn't know, right? We don't know, right? They get $1 trillion, research and development, engineers, scientists. So, we don't know what's next. But what we can say is like, well, Dr. Ross, laptops and desktops have been out for a long time. Maybe they ain't going nowhere, right? So maybe it's still here, right? Maybe, because maybe we can't fathom anything like here, like people actually just grabbing stuff out the air, invisible sort of iPhone. All right, and then you die, right? After that, say something else does come out, then Apple will stop focusing. It'll minimize effort and time to maintain the market for phones or iPads, what have you, once something new comes out. Okay, many ways to classify products, right? By market, purchasing habits, consumption rate, degree of tangibility, and physical attributes. Something to consider for your plans, right? How do you classify the pizza? How do you classify the beef? How do you classify the Mexican food? We say a service is a bundle of intangible benefits. So since you're doing service businesses, what are the intangible benefits, right? You're still getting a service, even though you don't maybe not sit in Johnny's or even sit in Sergio's. How's the service? What are the intangible benefits? Some people go, well, it's a family business or it's an individual's business, and I like that. You can help them promote them, right? Something is there. And then equipment-based and people-based service. Is Johnny's a people-based service or equipment-based? Is Sergio's equipment? What do you think? Is Sergio's equipment-based or people-based? Right? Like, hey, Sergio's got that brick oven that makes those awesome pizza. Well, you're like, no, Sergio does it by hand. Those people-based, right? Like, you doing all this stuff, but it takes a long time. Right? It takes a while. But something to consider. And then positioning. Goal of positioning is to own a word that ranks the product in the prospect's mind. Levi's owns jeans. Tell me another phrase used by companies, right, that they try to position themselves with, like a tagline. BMW is the what? What's the tagline for BMW? The ultimate driving machine. Right? So BMW positions itself to say, hey, BMW, are you luxury? I don't know, people could think we are, but we don't position ourselves as that. And nowhere in that phrase that it says luxury such and such. BMW is saying like, you're gonna love driving the car. I've owned a few BMWs and I will say, it is a different driving experience. It's awesome driving experience. I've had Mercedes-Benz, I still have a Mercedes-Benz, and I've been, well, it's a more comfortable driving experience. BMW is meant to be driven, like you feel it in the curves. When you hit a curve, like it feels almost slightly race cars, even if it's a big sedan or something like that. And then other cars you could think of has high octane, great acceleration, all of these different things, right? I own a Ferrari. Now, what can I say about Ferrari? It's eye-catching, right? And it's just, is it something you drive every day? No, it's not meant to be, right? So there's a whole little caddy for it. People like to collect those kind of cars and drive them every once in a while. You're not driving it all the time, but it's a race car. That's what it feels like. It feels like a race car. Right? So we say, hey, can you think of another company? Like their tagline.
Could Subaru be one? They're like a family car.
What phrases do they use to express to the public? Like what's their tagline? Again, if you Google it or something. Google some taglines. Taco Bell, Burger King. What's Burger King's? Have it your Huh? Have it your way or make it your way. Right? And what does that mean to people? Hey, no lettuce, extra tomatoes, right? Like it's maybe slightly customizable. So they would, and Burger King would kind of say, hey, we're different than McDonald's, even though we're in the same category. We're different because we're flame grilled. You're not gonna feel like you're getting somebody perceive a fake burger or something like that, right? People are actually making it on the grill, and you can kind of customize it. They're like, you're still just like McDonald's. They're like, no, we're different, right? We're different. And that's what we do. Any taglines you can see in companies?
I found the Subaru one. Their tagline is confidence in motion.
Confidence and motion, what does that mean to a consumer?
I guess it just means that like they can be confident or like that the car that they're driving is a good car to drive. Like they shouldn't be worried about anything going wrong with the car.
Yeah, hey, Subaru's like, probably the marketing team like, hey, should we use reliable or should we use safe? And they're like, no, just use confident, because that encapsulates both. Right? So confident, that, well, I'm confident in the safety of the vehicle and I'm confident in the reliability of the vehicle. But they say make it shorter, we don't want to add two words, add one. Right? So think of those, just how that creates some sort of difference. Product differentiation, perceptible differences, right? What's the difference between Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Balenciaga? The real answer might be like nothing, except the perception of something else, right? You're like, oh, Balenciaga is some ridiculous price, so does it make it more luxury? I don't know. The people who buy it, they're like, yo, I wear Balenciaga. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? You know what that means, right? So for us, it don't mean nothing. But to them, the people who wear it, you're like, oh, yeah, there's a difference, right? Hidden differences. What could be like an example of that? Like products that are different, but it's kind of hidden in some way. What do you think?
Could that be like when you have like dupes of like products? So like like the high-end brand, but then they come out with like basically the same one, or like a different company comes up with the same product, but it's just cheaper.
Yeah, right, so you're like, hey, it's hidden in the cost, right? It's the same exact thing, we're just charging it cheaper. I'm like, well, why does the other place charge it more? because they can. That's the real answer. The real answer, because they can. The branding, the imaging, the perception, blah, 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 right? And induce differences, which is kind of promoting real differences, like shooting out and kind of forcing out. Okay, and then branding. We have individual brand, family brand, national brand, private label. What would be an example of individual brand? Right, we like things attached to names of people. Oh, is it time to go? What time is it?
10:47.
Okay. Okay, hold you. But here, let me just finish this really quick. We like names attached to people. Charles Schwab, J.P. Morgan, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, right? We like that stuff. It makes it personal. So a lot of banks have even noticed that. Like they've gotten rid of national blah, blah, blah. And they've changed a lot of their mortgages, offerings, and financial instruments into names. I know that Wintrust has one called Mr. Cooper. It used to be National something mortgage company. People are like, it sounds so vague, it sounds a little off-putting. I want, when I put my money in or I got a mortgage on a house, I want it to be associated with a person. Who's the person? I made a person. It doesn't make sense. Right? Family name, the Waltons, right? Walmart, people just, you may even go Trump or something like that. Right? Anything attached to like a family name, people love that because they feel like it's homegrown. National brands and private label, right? National brands are just big sort of brands all over, and private label are very specific sort of brands that could be used in the government. All right. I'll let you get out of here, and I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great weekend. And hopefully you all go try the restaurants. You say you haven't been to Giants?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been. You've been to Giants.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I'll go try it again, all right? Try it and see how the experience